I like you. Hey, Doug is here. We are looking at this beautiful John Williams score to the Deer Hunter, this Cavatina theme. It's popular theme. We're gonna do some sight reading of it. Doug, you've never played it before, correct?
No.
But you've heard it or no?
Yeah, but a long time ago. I
Oh
haven't
yeah.
listened to it in a long time.
We're just gonna look at the melody though. So notice first of all, like you just said, it's in the key of what?
E major.
E major, and I'd probably just scan it to make sure that it ends on the E. It's a long, wow, holy cow, it's a long piece. E major,
Is
it
that
ends on
major?
E. But it's probably going to have some chords, some accidentals that are not in the key. I already see some chords here. This is not in the key of E. That's a cool turnaround there. Well, the A is, but not the D, and not the G, and not the C, because
Yeah.
those would have to be sharp. So that those are borrowed chords. And we'll talk about the theory later. Instead of analyzing it right away. But we could just sight read the melody a little bit together. How about that first? We're in what time signature?
3/4.
Yeah, so we're going one, two, three, one, two, three, one, two, three, one E and two, three, one, two, three, one E and two, three, one, two, three, and one. So right there, notice that this is kind of a palindrome. It reversed. This is one E and this is three and a one,
And a 1.
two, three, one, two, three, and a one, two, three, one, two, three, a one, two, three, one. That's the rhythm. So we kind of have that phrase down. Now we have to figure out where we want to play this thing. On the flute, it would probably be up there. I mean, or we could hear. Where do you want to play that B note? I mean, again, we don't have to be strict to this because usually guitar reads down an octave from that. So if I already see this B, I would play it here.
I would first try it on the open string.
Oh, great. Good. So we have this B, one, two, three. B, two, three, one, two, three. Oh, and I already messed up there. I went and a one, but it's
1.
three, one e and. Three, one, two, three, one e and two, three, one, two, three, and a one, two, three, one, two, three, and a one, two, three, F sharp, two, three, a one, two, three, one, two, three, one, two, three, one, two, three, one, two, three from the top, three. And this is like a bar of nothing, so it's like an intro just for time. So I'm just kind of scoping this out. This is dee doo 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 doo, and then when it says the repeat symbol here. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure who arranged this. Let's see who arranged this piece. Oh, John Williams. Arranged by Stanley. I think John Williams wrote the theme. I didn't. It's kind of. This chart says Stanley Myers. I thought he was the film director. Maybe he wrote the tune then, and then John Williams arranged it. Who knows? Stanley Meyer might. I have to look it up on Wikipedia, maybe or whatever. Maybe he's the composer and John Williams is the arranger. I always thought John Williams was the film composer for this song too, but maybe not. Okay, so from there we're supposed to go back to this open E, two, three, one, two, three, one, two, three, one E and two, three, one, two, three, one E and two, three, one, two, three, two, three, one, two, three, a one, two, three, one, two, three, sus, two, three, one, two, three, one, two, three. Second time coming up to. So right here we went one, two, three, one,
One.
two, and three, and one. Excuse me. Three. A little arpeggio there. What chord is this? If you group these together, what arpeggio is that? That's how that's what I'm visualizing for sight reading. I'm like, oh, that's a blank what?
When it goes G,
G
B,
sharp,
D
B,
sharp.
D sharp. What are those three notes? What chord is that? It's a triad.
Um,
It's every other note. So it's
so it's
tertian. What is that?
well, it starts on G.
G sharp.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
we're in
G
the key
sharp.
of
See,
E.
that's
We're in the key of, this is probably some theory stuff we should do also when we talk about key of E to make sure you know all the chords in the key of E. E major.
right.
Say it with me. F sharp
F
minor. Or you
sharp
might even
minor,
just say the scale first. E, F
F
sharp,
sharp,
G
G
sharp,
sharp,
A,
A,
B,
B,
C
C sharp,
sharp, D
D
sharp,
sharp,
and E again,
E.
right? Good. Those are your four sharps in the key of E. But it's also important to know your triads, your chords, and even seventh chords for that matter for jazzer. E major, F sharp minor,
Minor,
G sharp minor,
minor,
A major,
A
B major. Well,
major.
that's one, two, three, four, five. One is major, minor, minor, major, major. Six is what?
Uh, we just said we just said A, right?
No, no, no. I'm sorry. Six. What kind of chord is six? No, I don't care about
It's a
the
minor
letter
chord.
name right now. What was that?
Minor chord.
Good. And then seven.
Seven is diminished.
Great. So again, that's to me what's important. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. That we know those seven chords in diatonic. And then of course you can assign them letter names: E major, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, A major, B major, C sharp minor, D sharp, diminished. And then if you wanted to jazz it up, you can add those sevens too, because that's you're going to see some
Yeah.
sevens, major sevens. This is a complex song. It's not an easy song. It's a beautiful piece. So, anyways, how'd you do on the sight reading of that A section? I'm going to call that the A section there. How'd you do?
Um, I the probably the biggest mistake I make are not reading it as almost like a C major, but then missing the sharps. So that takes time. That takes time to sort of reinforce in your head what notes are sharp, and therefore what note to play in the next. So you might initially make a mistake of assuming.
Well, that's where I would suggest that you know your E major scale. So this is a sight reading tip here. You got to know your key center. And when
Right.
you look at this piece, this A section here, we'll call this all the way to the A section here. Um, you don't see any accidentals. Of course, like I mentioned, the chords, I see the chords, I'm like, hey, that's not in the key of E. These are not in the key of E.
Right.
Um, it starts out, and that we should analyze it next with chords and in a second. But for me, I want to make sure I could play an E major scale,
Right.
you know, without. I want to make sure I could do that E major scale at least in one octave. A lot of these melodies do not go beyond an octave. Sometimes they do, but that's more for the improv. When you're really, really reading a good melody, melodies stay within an octave often. I mean, that's a vocal type of a thing to make it lyrical. It's not very vocal like if you're jumping around too much beyond a span of an octave. So check out, I'm going to read this melody with you. Now you can see my fretboard a little bit different. I'm not going to use any open strings. I mean, I might. I tend not to because I can't add vibrato, and I love vibrato and all those little articulations. So when I play melodies, I often use fretted notes. So I'm going to play it here in this position, and I'm thinking this mode, G sharp minor, Phrygian. And again, that's extreme because I don't need all those notes, but for me, that helps me know the position. Here's an E major scale if you were to think of it off the cage system. Here's E major, caged. It's like a C shape, right? So that's an important way to see this. So when I'm playing this melody, watch my fingers. One, this is B. You gotta know your notes now.
Yep.
B, two, three. 1, 2, 3. So I just, it's right around the B, just scale A, B. But to be honest now at this point, I'm not reading every note. I'm just playing off the line. I know that this is below B, that's A. This is above B. So I got my B. So I'm just kind of reading the direction, the shape of it. I also sight read quite a bit using the interval method. I follow the line. Of course, if you have leaps, then you got to know your notes. But in this case, we got the starting note, this B, which is the fifth of E. It turns into the third of G sharp minor, by the way. Then it goes down to the next note, and then it goes above. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's the first part. And I went da da da. This is a beautiful motif there. The da da dum. Yeah. Da da dum. Da da dum. Yeah, so again, this little 16th note rhythm is a very characteristic of this melody. And then it goes da da dum. It really develops beautifully. Now it goes down, but one thing to notice and be careful of is that this note is hit twice. It doesn't go down the scale. So it's just this. This part is. Okay, so I'm just kind of going through some different fingerings for you. I'm thinking here. And this rhythm. Bo down, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1. From the top. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1 in, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1 in, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, da da da, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, a 1, 2, 3. I'm making it like a jazz waltz. 3, 1, 2, 3, dun, dun, 2. I'm feeling like zoom, like this. I'm kind of swinging it a little bit. It's so pretty. I'll have to do a chord melody arrangement. Here's your sixes. Here's a B section. Oh, how we gonna do this? E/F sharp. So pretty tune. B major, that's a modulation because B7 is a 5 of E. Anyways, I'm kind of going back to my point here now. This is a G sharp minor triad. That's what I want you to know, is that you just do this do 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 dee. That way, once you kind of spot the triad, the chord that you're leaping, you don't have to think about it. You just know, hey, theory. This melody, we'll analyze it a little bit more as well. As like it's characterized a lot by these colors. You got I want to actually ask you, what is this? What are these notes? And we'll talk about that. But let's I don't know. We're getting pretty. This is gonna get pretty intense. Let's just do this one other section, okay? Before instead of trying to do the whole thing today, I like to just maybe get these two sections down. So yeah, now we're up in the higher E here. And later, another good practicing I'd highly recommend is starting the melody up an octave. You might have to choose your, you know what I mean? Da-da-dee. You might have to play it up in a different position, obviously, to get the full range. And just like this E would be, yeah, this E would be up here. So there I might think C sharp Aeolian. I love the minor shapes for the scale patterns. In the key of E, C sharp is a 6, so it's Aeolian. 9th fret here for me, like this. Okay. So, Let me hear that Aeolian mode. I know we haven't done modes in a while, but it's important. That's how I like to use my modes often, is to have them as position markers. So if I did have to read in the key of E, I could be in the ninth position up there and be thinking just C sharp minor Aeolian. I think you're in the wrong key, Doug. Are you here? C sharp. Can I hear your C sharp?
Yeah,
That's not C sharp.
that was C.
Okay, now C sharp Aeolian. Beautiful. Okay, so that's key of E. Yeah, if I'm noodling and improvising essentially with the scale, that would be the fingering, my palette that I'm using from. That's again up an octave. Right now, I like this Phrygian mode. I tend to use that Phrygian shape as much as possible, which is just a C cage shape if you're thinking of like this. See, here's the E, and here's this riff. That's how I often show that shape, is that this is G sharp minor Phrygian. But here's E major. And here's got this little shape here too. That's the E shape. So this is a beautiful
Yep.
fingering.
Yeah, D, E flat, F.
Yes. Okay, we're gonna analyze this beautiful A section in a second. Let's just read this one other section. It's pretty long. I don't know. It's a little bit scary to read all the way to here. Do you want to do that? Read all the way to measure 42?
No, no, I don't want to do that much. I mean, I'm
Okay,
gonna
good. No, that's fine. That's
condense
fine.
my learning to that page. I think is enough.
Let's do that. We got a lot out of it just by doing the rhythm, the 16th note, and the timing. Let's do a quick analysis of it and even do a chord melody of just that A section. Again, this is what I like to do now. We're going beyond the reading, we're learning it. How do I come up with a quick arrangement of it, too? But let's analyze it first. What is B in relation to E, the chord?
Uh, B is the sixth.
Yeah. Wait, say it again.
B
B to the E chord.
to the E chord is fifth.
Fifth, right? Good. Yeah, so again, here's my E chord. Here's my fifth. Two, three, two, three. So this. Oh, and then I went to the G sharp minor with a D sharp in the bass, a descending bass line, chromatic bass line, or the descending, not really fully chromatic. But now that B is the third of G sharp minor. We'll alternate. I name one, you name one. And then A, B, C sharp, that's pretty straightforward with the A chord that goes right up the scale. One, two, three. Of the chord. We're relating it to the chord. Because this is important, because if we're doing a little chord melody, I want to have an A chord and go one, two, three. And I did the sixes, of course, because sixes always sound lovely. And you can get the C sharp in the bass if you want. And then, yeah, F sharp minor. Notice I went up an octave for that little riff there. For chord melody, I probably would start here. And then I would get that B here with a G sharp minor. And now I'm thinking inversions. And I gotta do this. And then this. Unfortunately, both. The bass line is super important. So if you're doing a chord melody for the song, it'd probably be best if you can get that bass line. But I might not even worry about it the first time and just try to get the triads and the sevenths as necessary. So the B is the fifth, this is the third, this is a root to the three. What is C sharp to F sharp minor?
Um, it's the fifth.
Yeah, so again, I would do this F sharp minor 7. That would be my go-to shape if I want it up high. If I want it down low, I would do it down here. Or this. You can think of F sharp minor as an A triad with the F sharp in the bass.
Yep.
So those would be
What is
those
that
would
one
be
where they
my
put the where they have the G in it, and then they have
A G. You
uh,
don't want a G natural.
no
G natural or G sharp.
G sharp.
Yeah, G sharp. It will give you the nine. So if you can add nines on and all that good stuff too later. You can even add susses like.
Yep.
Let's go on. A, B, C sharp. Notice the same motif here played, but now it's on a B chord. So it's this. And that whenever you play a major triad a whole step down on a dominant chord, you get a sus. So this is they called it a B11 on this chart. I would have just called it B9 sus 4 or something, but it's basically 11 is the same as a 4. So they're kind of saying have, and I'm looking here in the melody. There's no third, so it's really a sus. Then it goes here. So this chart is kind of wrong. B11, I would call it B sus 4 or B7 sus 4. So that's what that is. That's a flat 7. That's the 2 or 1, and that's the 9 of the dominance. This is so you got the B like this. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Yeah, you got this D sharp in here if you're doing sixes like this. The first time could have been this on the A one. It could have been this. And then the F sharp minor. And then. So it's pretty subtle, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Here, this D sharp. For the A, it would be Lydian. It makes it Lydian, like this. And then for the B. Again, it's tricky to have that bass line at the same time, but solo guitar, that's what you would want to do, is to have a bass in there. If you're doing a stripped down chord melody, you can kind of omit the bass, you know. If you have a bass player or a backing track, then you don't need it. But if you're doing solo guitar, it's nice to hear that bass in there. So here I put a C sharp in the bass. And then on the F sharp minor 7. And then the B, B7, and then it goes back to that fifth. That's a complete nice phrase there. Notice it started on the fifth, it ended on the fifth. Well now, and this is the 5 chord, and then it does resolve beautifully to the 1. But now the 1 chord turns to dominant. You know what I always say, when the 1 turns to dominant, that takes us where?
Well, if it's dominant, that's
So in this case, we're in the key of E. Now it's an E7. Where does E7 want to go if it's a secondary
it
dominant?
has to. Yeah, D7 is the dominant for an A major. So
Yeah, yeah, and A is the 4 chord. So I always say it this way, Doug, when the 1 turns to dominant, when the 1 becomes 5, that's going to pull you to the 4. And it does. It goes to A major. But not only that, A major 7, which is a little bit more of a, you know, I always think of it as a kind of an introspective, pensive sound. So that E7.
Do you play it that way?
Well, now I'm showing it to you up high as if I'm doing chord melody. But we're just doing an analysis, but it also will help you with chord melody. So that's the 7th degree of the A major
Because
seven.
you want to keep the G sharp on the E string.
Well, for this demonstration, yeah, we could do it here like this. We could do 2 different shapes like this or this.
Yeah, or that. Yeah.
And then it goes to D major 7 with the 3rd on top. Either like that or like this. And again, that's why I'm always saying, when you're doing chord melody, you want to make sure you can identify what the note is and then know how it relates to your chord.
Wait.
So we have A major 7
Yeah, play it that way.
to D major 7. And he's focusing a lot on the 7th and the 3rd, so guide tones. It sounds almost like Sati, gymnopédie. It's very beautiful. And then it goes like this. Now I'm giving it a little waltz feel, right? Notice that G major 7, and it goes to F sharp. The F sharp stays the same, but it changes color. What degree is it now?
F sharp of G. Oh,
The F sharp related to the G major
it's a
7.
seven.
Yeah, yeah. So if I had a pencil or a pen, I can mark it all up, and I can do it. But we're just talking about it. We have the 7, we got the third, we got the 7. What do you think this is gonna be?
Uh, he is a third, isn't?
Yeah, it's the third. So it's a
Oh
little
man, C.
pattern. It's a pattern, just like autumn leaves, just like this. Third, third, third. Well, I didn't say it. Sorry. Third turns to 7, and then third turns to 7. There's just thirds and sevenths. This might be inspired by autumn leaves, but it's the major version of it. You got the 7th and the third, the 7 and the third, and then that note stays the same, and it becomes the 4. I just told you
Four
it's a
of B.
sus 4, and then it kind of resolves. Oh, it does this little enclosure 5, 3, and then it becomes a 1. Then it resolves to the root for that whole section. That's a nice little complete piece right there. That's a miniature. That's how many measures that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
16.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So, like right there, that could be it. You could just make a tune. You don't necessarily have to go to this bridge. But I just want to see something here. Yeah, because then it goes up high, another octave for the. Oh, but then it does some cool stuff here. But then it comes back. It's kind of a long piece. It's like a, I think it's following a particular form. Maybe they call it trio sonata, classical form. A B or A B C B A. I have to review my old forms from classical theory. Um, so we're not looking at that section anyways, but we're almost closing out this 5-1. But before we talk about that, we didn't talk about the chord progression here. As I mentioned, this is a 4 chord. The 1 became dominant, which pulls us to the 4.
Four.
But now what happens here? What's all that about? D major, is that in the
Looks
key of
like
E?
it almost looks like
Yeah, exactly. It follows the cycle of fourths. I know what you're
fourth.
thinking.
Yeah.
Cycle of fourths. A D G C. Watch my fingers. A D G C B E. So look at this. Fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars. See, it follows. If that's the fly me to the moon pattern, meaning it just follows a cycle of fourths. However, they're all major 7th chords.
Majors.
That's very particular. Major 7, major 7, major 7, major 7, sus, resolve. So again, here's a little outlining exercise. Or major 7. I mean, now I'm doing arpeggios. Now I'm talking about soloing. How do I solo on it? But really, this can be also thought of as being borrowed or transposed to the parallel world. Maybe E Dorian, which would be key of D, you got the 1 and the 4. And then C major is not there. I don't know. There's different. We can be in the key of G now. This is 1 and the 4. There's so many different ways to think about it. This could be the harmonic minor scale of E. This. And then, so if I'm talking about soloing again, I'm talking about the chord progression to think about what scale can I use, or what scales, again, or you just think of it just related chord by chord that he's following this cycle of fourth. I'll show it to you this way. And then I put a little turnaround there, which Jazzers will do this 3 6 2 5 1. Put a jazz turnaround 1 6 2 5 if you're to jazz it up, which is you could totally make your own arrangement of this. Um, so there's an analysis of the A section. We don't have to do the B section. You want to try playing it with a chord? You want to do a little chord melody style? You want to make it up on the fly, or do you want to stop here with this song?
Uh, I'm still grasping everything you've said, so
Okay, yeah. Well, I
that
mean,
takes
now.
time for my brain to digest it all.
Oh, me too. I don't have it down. That's what I'm saying. If I wanted to take it to the next level, we analyzed we read the melody, we got it in our head. It's a beautiful tune.
Hmm.
And then, do I want to do that and then play the chords? Do I want to, how do I going to reinforce it? I think what we need to do, what we didn't do, is just to play the chords. Let's just do it this way. E major. And I'm just going to show you my route really quickly. G sharp minor slash D sharp as written. A slash C sharp. Beautiful, beautiful chord sequence. And a lot of inversions. So again, you got the E major root position, G sharp minor slash D sharp. It's like a bar chord, but I'm not playing the G sharp, just D sharp. A major slash C sharp. Okay. Here's the A triad. And get the C sharp in the bass, a third in the bass. A lot of people will do it way over here too, like this. But that's not very good voice leading. Neither is this, where I just moved it down. Instead, I would prefer this. And then for the F sharp minor 7, this is a beast. This is that A triad with the F sharp minor over
Sure.
here. This is what they call closed position. 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7. But it's a big spread. So I would just probably at that point choose to do it like this. Like a jazz way of playing it. I've got it doubled. Or this. Or this. Or this. I want the root and the bass though. That's the main thing I'm thinking is keeping that bass line. Sorry, tune up. Can I hear you play those chords? I know I'm demonstrating it. I want to just make sure you can do that as well. I'll keep the video going. I know others are working on this too. Probably checking it out, saying, "Oh, what are all these slash chords?"
Yeah.
And then for accompaniment, we want to get the 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and a nice. Whoa. And now I'm just arpeggiating, just kind of a stock 3/4 time pattern. Um, but I can see the harp is doing, yeah, the harp is doing that too. Boo boo doo
Hmm.
dee dee da doo doo doo. It's just going up and down. 6 notes total. Three, like it's in 6/8 basically, but it's a 3/4 time. Okay, Doug, let me hear you and see you play these chords. Start with the E
Well,
major root position. I'm putting you on the spot here. This
that's
is
the you're
good.
playing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now play G sharp minor slash D sharp.
That's D sharp minor, D sharp, right? No, that's not right. D sharp. I don't know that chord.
Yes, you do. Play me G sharp minor bar chord.
G sharp minor.
I can't see your hand. Sorry. Let me see your hand. Good. Yeah, perfect. G sharp minor. Do it again, please. Yeah. Now just your lowest note is D sharp. That's all. Don't play the root.
Oh, you don't worry about the
That's what I'm
original.
saying. Yeah, I know you know it because I know you know your G sharp minor bar chord. Okay, good. So do that again. Connect those two. Let's go ahead and do a little six. This is a little pattern. I still call it 6 8 3 4 like this. This is again as if we were on the gig and you were to read this chord chart. This sight reading still, but now we're talking about chords, and you want to create an accompaniment pattern in this flowing 6 8 3 4 feel, not a jazz waltz, but I would go. That's the stock pattern 1 2 3 4 5 6. Right up from the root of the, or sorry, not really the root, but in this case it's the root. I don't want, I wouldn't put that high note on there. Get rid of that. Just stop at E. Yeah, you want that E on top?
The E on
That
top?
I would not put sorry, I would not put that G sharp on top. I
Or you
skipped
put the
it.
E on top?
Yeah, I would stop at the E. This is subjective though, just want to let you know. Yeah, I want it more accompanimental. This sounds like it's a melody. Once I get that first
Yeah.
string, anything on the first string almost is kind of higher up. It might clash with the melody, the flute, or the vocalist. So I would do this. Beautiful. Now play the next chord. We'll just go through these chords and the accompaniment at the same time. Good. Let me hear it. I'm hearing a different note in there. Play that one more time.
This is G sharp. There's D sharp.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you play one note at a time, please?
Which one?
One note at a time from the bass note.
There's D sharp.
Yep. That's not
F
right.
sharp.
There's no F sharp in a G sharp minor triad. That's what I was hearing. Good. Let me hear the arpeggio though. Okay, good. Again, avoid the first string.
Avoid the first one.
Yeah, don't play the first string. You don't need
Don't
to. If our
don't play the
pattern
D
is this,
sharp.
if our pattern is this, 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2, you don't need the first string. For the accompaniment pattern, for the
Yeah.
finger picking.
So don't play the D sharp.
Right. Don't play the high G sharp, right.
Yeah. What
I'm
about
sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Can you get closer to the computer?
yeah? Okay. Let's see. G sharp. D. G sharp. Don't play that. I only have three notes.
Yeah, that's not right either. You're playing a sus chord. I'm hearing a sus. Here, look
Yeah.
at me, Doug. You showed it to me this way. It's a G sharp minor bar chord.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you're finger picking it, hold this shape, but only pluck these strings. Let me see your scoot over just a little bit. Okay, good. Yeah, it's just a G sharp minor bar chord, but you're starting on the fifth degree. That's what's happening here. Okay. Yeah. Good. So go back to E and just piece these together. This is as if we're performing it on a gig with minimal rehearsal. Okay. Again, you're putting that da. I would not put that high G sharp on there. I might try it out. It harmonizes with the melody as a third, but I think it's distracting. And yeah, we could be creative. I can ask you for homework to come up with four different patterns for comping using this flowing 6/8. But the stock pattern is just this. You know what I mean? It's just do 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 dee dee do do. But you can be creative with it later.
Yeah.
As if like, look at this. This is creative. Dee do dee dee do 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 dee dee dee. It leaps around and changes, and it might just be because of the chord voicing, you know. But it's on. This is this arrangement is for harp and guitar, or I think it means harp or guitar, but that's okay. Not all three. Just either
Right.
flute and then piano or harp or guitar. That's what they mean. But again, we're just making our own simple arrangement. But first of all, I want to make sure you got the chord shapes down. You know, yes, there we go. Now go to A major slash C sharp.
Well, I played up here, but I don't know if that's right.
Again, we're striving to keep the closest voice leading common notes from one chord to the next. Here's how I would do it in this position. Again, you got that A triad root position, and then we're gonna put the third in the bass, not way over here. Now that'd be kind of cool, but over here.
Oh,
Notice, review that Ted Green News at 11 chord. He loved this chord too, the third in the bass, but he'd take off the C sharp, so it's an add 9, or sorry, sus2. Sorry, it is add 9 because you got the third in the bass. That's why it's not a sus. But here's just the A triad,
yeah.
and then C sharp in the bass. It's almost like a C sharp minor triad or 7 chord, right?
Yeah.
But then you gotta do this.
There's C sharp minor 7.
It's almost like a C sharp minor 7 chord. I would say C sharp minor triad first, and then take the fifth and go up to the flat 6. That's what the chord is really. That's how it's still related to C sharp minor. Beautiful. Yeah, I love that third in the bass. Okay, good. Start over and see if you can connect that now. Now we're kind of practicing for performance. Yeah, again, I would get rid of the high note. The first string. Yes. Beautiful. Good. Watch your bass notes. C sharp in the bass. Good. And then go to F sharp minor 7. Now we have to make that executive decision. Yes, do you want to go up high
Well,
to this voicing here, which is a drop 2 shape? Jazz guitar players call it the drop systems, or piano players. It's also here, Doug.
you can play it
On,
there.
yeah, on the top 4 strings. Instead of going way over here, you can just do it here. And then now, or if you wanted it lower, you could do the drop 3. If you wanted it more in the bass here, you can see the harp here, they wrote the arrangement to go up from the C sharp instead of down in the bass. And then down to the B. So I went to B11 like this. I'm adding in the 9, but I might do a sus4 like this. And then B7. I don't feel a need to have the 9th degree. That would be an F sharp note. Or, sorry, that'd be a C sharp note. I don't feel the need to have a C sharp. And then back to the E major triad. But it says E major 7, so I would do this. E major 7, you could think of it as a G sharp minor triad over E bass. So I put the E in the bass and I did a G sharp minor triad. And I'm taking advantage of the open string because I got it here in this case, and I did this. Now you could definitely fret the E here like this. That's totally fine too, of course. But I'm using the open E with a G sharp minor because now I'm going to show you how to make it dominant. You do this. You take the 7 and you flat it. So we have E major 7 to the E dominant 7. Can I go back and hear you do the B? We're calling this a B sus4.
So
B
just
B7 B7 sus4. We need that flat 7 in there.
7.
And if you don't know that, just play B7 chord first,
Yeah.
bar chord,
Yeah.
and then scoot it over. These are drop 2 voicings, by the way. Good. Can I hear B7 sus4? Yeah, do the arpeggio like this. Then B7. E major 7. E7. You see why I like that open E string, so I could get this. And then we're gonna go to A major 7 next, but don't go there quite yet. I want to hear you just do this. This is just me hearing you practice chords. We're being very picky, pun intended, about the voice leading. We're like really arranging it so it's smooth voice leading. You're on E major 7.
Yeah, I started. Well, no.
That's okay. I want you to go back to the B7 sus4.
One.
Yes. Yeah, try to get that bar if you can on the third string. It's a little bit. Yeah, try to get that bar on the third string if you can. Get it right on the end of the fret. I know it's hard. That's you might have to raise and lower that bar a little bit to get the right so won't your indentation of the finger. Yeah, that deadened note there. Try to just get that. Yeah, you might have to lift up your bar just a little bit, that first finger, to adjust it on that. Just raise it. Then you get more of the fatty part of the finger on there. Raise your bar, please, on your first finger. Let me see your finger go up. Raise it. Raise that finger more. Yeah, be extreme. No, the other way. The other way. This way.
This way?
No, no, not over. Up. Get more of the fatty fatty.
Oh, this way.
Yes. I said fatty fart. Fatty part of the finger. Scoot it. Let me hear it. Better. Yeah, yeah. That's what I use. My suggestion is that the bar, if you get a little, it's just like where that finger then take. So I say this often, like be extreme, extend it up higher. That often will fix the problem and always be at the end of the fret. Um, and then E major 7, I'm doing it like this. And then E dominant 7. And again, I'm using that open string so I don't have to do a monster stretch.
Right.
Now, let's finish out the section. I was thinking, well, where do I want to go for A major 7? The jazzer in me would want to go here. But that's not the best voice leading, because if you follow the sus was doing this. That's where it wants to go. This wants to go. This A major 7. That's this shape here, the drop 2 voice. Yep. And then D major 7. Slide now because of the parallelism, now I would just slide it up to the 5th fret and do the same shape. Yeah, and that happens to be the melody note as well. Not that we are too concerned about it, but it happens to double the melody there. G major 7. We could do this. We could do common tone. Like that. That's our C shape again. You know, here's C major 7, but this on 10th fret G. Or we could just go to this drop 3 voicing. You choose. I would not do this shape. I would not slide it way up here. That's a little bit too much. This was okay to go from here. But do you want to go way up here? I don't know. It's a little extreme. Then you got to do this. The same shape. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the idea of doing this. It's a good hack, but it's not the smoothest and closest voice leading. So I'm going A major 7, D major 7, G major 7, C major 7. I like that a lot, that G major 7, C major 7. And then the B7 sus, now they call it B7 sus, which is what I would have called it up here as well. Now I do this. This is a pinball wizard chord. So B7 sus 4. Here's B7 bar chord. Here's B7 sus 4. And then B7. And then finally to finish out, E major triad. I'd probably just do this. But if I really want it to feel like a perfect cadence is the word, where the melody is on the top note, I would do this. In the bottom note, it'd be this. That C shape again. That's with the root on top. I don't want the 3rd on top, is what I'm saying. Just to do this. So, check out the last. Check it out from here. I'm going to start here with that E major 7, dominant 7, A major 7, D major 7, G major 7, C major 7, B7 sus 4, B7, and E major. And from the top. Da, 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 da. Dun, 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 dun. I want to do a sus here. I want to do this. I like the sus. You remember? I always add susses to resolve it. Like this, 4. And then resolve. Notice I'm just using that open E because we can, and that allows me to get, you know, my finger's not tied up. I just added a little sus there myself as just to prolong it a little bit again. And you might go up the sus and then resolve it non-sus. You resolve the sus. So you might go up with the 4. Resolve it. What do you think? Beautiful.
Yeah.
Check it out just one time through. I'll try to. And this is not easy. That's why I want to practice it too. Just the chords. Actually, and I took a different route for this. I went to this
I sort of like, yeah,
instead of this. I would vary it up.
yeah, I like the A major here and the D major. I like this.
Oh, you like the lower G? Yeah, 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 yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, that works really well too. Good. Right here. Beautiful. And then you do this and
Yep, and the B. Yeah, this is B.
then it's time to get the chord melody. Good luck. And the arrangement. This is where you got to really use your.
Yeah,
Oh, I'd probably do it here. But now it's becoming like a little classical piece. I would probably play it at my gig tonight as a jazz waltz. I would just do this.
jazz waltz.
Now would try to get the melody on the top. Not worry about a full blown arrangement. Just again that chord melody style. But that would be the next level.
Hmm.
And then the next level would be improvisation. That's a whole nother hour lesson right there. We can go so far deep into a song, and it's just 16 bars, but it's so beautiful. This one's very rich in
Yes.
in content. So let me stop this. But that was pretty awesome.
Yep.